We have Andre here, who's on day 3 of CPAP therapy since we set you up on Friday. How did the weekend go, and how your first 3 nights going?
Yeah, so I actually used it just the last night, which was, I guess, 1 out of the 3 days. The first night I went to sleep a little later, and I was like, having all this anxiety and stuff like that. I'm like, let me just start using it on a regular day. So then Saturday night I wanted to use it, but I forgot to get distilled water. You guys told me how, and I didn't have any bottled water, so I'm like, So I did it last night, right? I got the water, I got everything. So I put it on, everything was perfectly fine. And I was starting to doze off, and then something, when I was like almost falling asleep, I felt like something was different. And I just opened my eyes and looked, and I guess when I moved or something, I unhooked the hose from the machine from right here, right?
Okay, that's a quick release.
Yeah. So either was not snapped in right. I guess, I never checked that and everything. So I'm like, oh no, I can't believe it, So I got the thing and I hooked it back up. And then I tell you, after that, I was just thinking about it. And I couldn't relax. I was like, almost hearing myself breathe. I was like thinking, is this gonna unhook again? So for some reason, I just kind of woke up so much that I was like struggling for like 3 hours. Could never fall back asleep with it,
Okay.
So I had to take it off, and I spent the rest of the night 3-4 hours without it. So not that great the first night, but I don't know, maybe that's reality.
So
right?
was your fear that if you fell asleep with us not attached to the CPAP machine, that something would happen to you negatively? Was that the fear?
I guess one of the fears was that what if somehow the machine turns off and then I wouldn't be able to breathe, right? Like if the machine, if I stop to breathe because of sleep apnea, and then the machine thinks that, because it has the auto smart thing, right? Auto stop, smart stop, yeah. And I was thinking that you cannot breathe if the machine is off. But I actually tested it, and you can still breathe in and out even if the machine is off.
Absolutely. So these devices are all FDA approved, and you're on the Vitera, and you see these air holes right here?
Yep.
Even if the machine is completely off, or you were wearing that mask right now, Fisher & Paykel has to prove to the FDA that you're able to do air exchange out of there. So you have to get enough CO2 out where you can breathe. You're not going to die if you're just wearing that mask. Nothing's not gonna happen to you. So that's definitely something you don't have to worry about.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it didn't make sense, but
Is any of that anxiety anything with claustrophobia about having a full face over your nose and mouth? Would you feel better if you tried something like a nasal or a hybrid mask like the Evora full face mask?
I wasn't aware ever to have any kind of claustrophobia. Maybe it was just this new thing, and I kind of put it off, and I knew I had to do it, but in my mind I was like, it's obviously I'm new to this. And you do have a little bit of, you're covering your mouth and nose completely. Even though I told you, it feels easier to breathe in, when the pressure's on, it feels so nice to breathe in. When you turn the EPR off, it's perfectly fine to breathe out if you don't force it, It's just, I guess, maybe it's just a mental thing. The mask wasn't even uncomfortable. It has a really nice, this thing is so nice. It's so soft. It didn't really bother me. It didn't itch. It didn't anything. So
see, one thing Fisher & Paykel do different than other CPAP manufacturers is they have what's called roll fit technology. So this is spring-like. So it's going to be more comfortable at the bridge of your nose than other full face masks. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to set you up on that mask, for comfort-wise anyways.
Yeah, it was not, a comfort that kept me. It was just, I guess it was just a mental, kind of thing. That's why I don't want to go to change anything yet. I still think this is, perfectly comfortable and everything. I think I'll just, keep doing it until I pass this mental block. You made a video today about 50% of the people giving up, right? And I'm like, no, I want to be part of the other 50%, because you get all these people that tell you all these great results, right? After they get it, they're just like, no, I couldn't live without it. They swear by it, So I guess it's just passing that hump,
Of course, but see, that's something I would never think of, and we have not come across. And maybe a lot of people in the past have been scared of this, and they have the anxiety where if the machine turns off, will they die wearing a mask? And I'm glad you addressed that, because I'm sure there are other people who think that, but you have nothing to worry about, because as I said, these air vents have to give gas exchange where you're breathing in oxygen and you're breathing out carbon dioxide. And you actually have vents on the inlet over here as well. So you have many different vents on the mask itself. So that's
I was thinking, I'm like, man, this has got to be tested, thousands of times. It's FDA approved. It's like, it was literally, I'm like, there's no way, it's just in my head, it's playing tricks on me, because everything would make sense, right? That it's like, it wouldn't be out there if people would have died from it, right? Or anything like that. But it's,
and the brand too. I mean, we're putting you on a world-class brand,
right.
Fisher and Paykel, and really.
I tell you, it looks like it's a big, humongous thing and everything, but I tell you, it's so comfortable. I know maybe people look at it like, oh wow, that's going to be really uncomfortable. I did not feel like it was uncomfortable. As I told you, it was really, really nice. I could even read, like you'd think this is, maybe they made this on purpose, transparent like that. I noticed that. I'm like, oh, if this would have been opaque, but you could actually read or even look at my phone, and that was fine. So it's pretty cool design over there. I'm excited, All
right.
I'll give it another try today. Yeah.
So let's see how tonight goes, and we'll update everybody.
Oh, tomorrow,
All right. Thank you, Andre.
Yeah, no problem.